Hey everybody, we're going to keep moving on with our packet. So we just covered the final Islam review. We're jumping back into Renaissance, this time talking about some of the famous people that came out of it. Your packet looks like this. Whoop. But just as in the last video, my online PDF file is not working, which is not loading. So I'm going to use the source where I got it, which was Ducksters, one of my favorite sites, because it's factual historical information and it's made for middle school students. So it's literally the exact same info that you have. I even got the quiz from this website. So we're going to read through it and then I'm going to leave you to do the questions. If you notice the questions on the next page, I limited down to 2 answers. They were quite specific, and I limited down to 2 answers just to make the close reading a little bit easier to find those answers. So we're talking about famous people in the Renaissance, and if you remember what Renaissance is, that's the rebirth in society of wanting to gain knowledge, wanting to gain wisdom, excel at your talents, and really train yourself. So these are some of the famous people. There were many people who had influenced and became famous during the Renaissance times. Here are some of the most famous. Leonardo da Vinci, who we've all heard of. Leonardo is generally considered the perfect example of the Renaissance man. He was an expert at many different things, including painting, sculpture, science, architecture, and anatomy. He was not only one of the most celebrated artists of all time with paintings, he not only was, sorry about that, restarting the sentence. He not only was one of the most celebrated artists of all time with paintings such as the Mona Lisa and Last Supper, but was also one of the most prolific inventors in history. He invented a ton of things. King Henry VIII could have been considered the most prototypical Renaissance man at his prime. He was tall, good-looking, and confident. He was educated and intelligent and could speak 4 languages. He was also athletic, a good horseman, a musician, a composer, and a strong fighter. Henry VIII is also known for having 6 different wives and for separating the Church of England from the Roman Catholic Church. We'll talk about him in our next unit of the Reformation. Hopefully we'll be back in school by then. We have Martin Luther, who is not Martin Luther King. Martin Luther is pictured here, and if you notice, he is not Martin Luther King. The pause, Bambi's being obnoxious. All right, I'm back. Martin Luther. Here's Bambi. Martin Luther. Luther was a German theologian and priest. He objected. See Bambi in the video? He objected to many of the practices of the Catholic Church, such as paying to get into heaven and the authority of the Pope. He thought the Bible should be a final authority and that should be available to everybody. Luther's ideas caused the Reformation and a new type of Christianity called Protestantism. So he really switched around religion in Europe. Catherine de' Medici, she was a member of the famed Medici family of Florence. As an 11-year-old girl, she was taken captive and held to try and stop her family from attacking. She convinced her captors that she wanted to become a nun, and as a result, they didn't hurt her. A few years later, she was married to the King of France, Henry. Henry became the King of France, and Catherine a powerful queen. After Henry's death, her sons became King of France and Poland, and her daughter Queen of Navarre? Not sure. Hold on a sec. All right, the next guy is called Erasmus. Erasmus was a Dutch priest and scholar. He was considered the greatest humanist of the North and helped to spread humanism and the Renaissance movement to Northern Europe. He's also famous for his book, Praise of Folly. I only have about 20 seconds left. I'm going to go ahead and end here before we get into our last couple people. And then I'll leave you to do the questions. So, bye.